back and
I always like having my back.
other things.
They're soothing. It helps me sleep.
No
You
one's
should come sleep in bed with me.
No one's touched me like that for years. Years. Welcome to the Banana Split Podcast, episode 72, with Jaden, Matt, and Pat. I'm going to put the names there and everything, except they're going to be in the wrong spots.
You missed it. It was fun watching that, doing the edit. I want to try and get to it faster this time, because it is a lot more fun to edit when there's video.
And I've put some dumb jokes throughout it.
Yeah, and hopefully it's more fun to watch than listen, even though I'm more of a... Like, I know a lot of my favourite podcasts do have a video version, but I still listen to them anyway. But
yeah.
Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put everyone's Instagram handle. So mine's going to be here. Matt's going to be here. I'm not putting Pat's because, like I've written the description of the YouTube videos, it's been 2 years and he's clearly read it. I've also updated the Facebook page description slightly. Two guys, sometimes three, talking in a room talking about shit nobody asked them to.
Does that mean I'll be on the new logo?
Mate, we've been trying to update that. We've been trying to update that new logo for like 8 months.
at least. I'm pretty sure it's longer than that, but
we'll get back on.
We'll get there. You got a new shiny light.
I know, I got a ring light, so you know what that means, folks. There's going to be better lighting next episode. And also, let's not ignore this thing that may or may not have something there if I figure out how to use a green screen in editing. We'll see.
I hope it's a pug. With fingers crossed.
It's not going to be a pug. I hate pugs.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will just be around us. You know how you can put clips up there or whatever, or at least an image, and it will just sit in right behind us.
Fish eating a carrot?
It can't be that hard, because whenever anyone does something with a green dress, like that one where the Queen did her dress, in a green dress, and it just became fodder for Photoshop, because it's so easy to put stuff on it, apparently. But I've never gone into the science of how that's done. So. Yeah,
I'm hoping that Google can tell me how to do it in Adobe Premiere. I'm one of those people that, you know what? Don't worry about it, because I realized what I said, I'm going to have to edit out anyway. So let's keep talking.
Didn't you have to buy like a cheaper version?
Well, I was going to... I found an open source version that I use, but I'm probably just going to get Premiere again just for doing this, because it's just... I know how to do things in Premiere, and I tried to use an open source version of Photoshop the other day, and I went, I'd have to relearn how to use everything in this, so just give me Photoshop back.
Yeah, so they couldn't just go and copy it exactly, otherwise that'd be some kind of infringement.
So I'm like, I already know how to use Adobe. And...
So what do we talk about? We've got news, we've got vaguely cosplay related stuff. It's hard because there's no events happening. There's still scheduled to be that super.
Hey, I like to dress up as a communist every now and then. There's the communist joke for the episode. I've referenced may or may not being a communist for the past 3 episodes.
I'd go with May.
Or not. You'll never know.
Is it rain?
No, it's the fan on the incredibly powerful.
Wow.
It's a high-tech technology.
Yeah, we switched over to Jaden's laptop, so...
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
The jet engine.
So on to the news. The Undertaker has retired for what, the 5th time? Isn't he
No,
one of those that kept coming back?
It's twice. No, he never officially retired. It seemed like he retired at WrestleMania 33, if I'm getting that right. Jaden will say, no, you're fucking wrong, Jaden, or yes, you're right, points to Jaden in the video area somewhere. Future me will say if I'm right or wrong. Against Roman Reigns when he lost to Roman for the second loss at WrestleMania, the first being against Brock Lesnar when he went 21-0 at WrestleManias. So then he took his hat off, he took his jacket off, he took his gloves off, he folded it all up and left it in the ring, and then he skipped the next WrestleMania, I believe, and then the WrestleMania after that, John Cena challenged him, and then he didn't really say anything, and then he showed up at WrestleMania and beat John Cena in like 3 minutes, and then he's just had his Boneyard match this year against AJ Styles, and he said in the last Undertaker documentary on the WWE Network, plug it here, they're not sponsoring us, but maybe they definitely won't.
I just feel sorry for anyone who listens to this at like 1.5.
I know, right? But
oh god.
And so then he's just sort of said in the last episode of the documentary, he goes, I think it's time that the cowboy finally rides away. And he said he'd come back if Vince needed him. Well, he'd think about it, but in his mind, he is retired. And the WWE has even done like stuff for it.
So. Even The Rock comes back sometimes, and that other dude who went into movies, John Cena.
Both.
How do you... Yeah, well, see, now, here's the issue with the WWE right now is they've sort of lost all their mainstream stars apart from maybe Brock Lesnar, who's sometimes there. Like, can you name whoever is the current? Can you tell me who the WWE champion is right now?
No, not a clue.
Yeah. If I gone to you like 7 years ago, you would have assumed it was like Triple H or John Cena or one of those.
Yeah, I know who Triple H is.
Exactly. No one knows who Drew McIntyre is right now. Who's the Universal Champion currently? Braun Strowman. Nobody knows who that is. That's the issue. They've got the Brock Lesnar. That's it.
They need a star. Time to step up.
Yeah. I'd do it, but scoliosis can't.
Back problems, sure.
Yeah. No, legit, I was
You
gonna...
sound like the uncle in Red Dead Redemption 2. First reference. I'd help you do it now.
No, you don't understand. I counted how many times we brought up Red Dead Redemption last time.
4 or 5.
4 times.
Yeah.
The 4th time I just said, I'm sorry. At the time.
I think I shut it down for the last time today, so next week it'll be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or The Last of Us. I'm picking that up on Tuesday. So we'll do a like super belated review. Even you said you had something to say even though you haven't played it yet, so
I know pretty much everything.
well, now that we're on it, like, not that you had a choice, sorry. The fact that the actress that plays, is it Bobby?
No, Abby.
Abby.
And she's getting the Rose from Star Wars treatment where it's just like, fuck you, kill you.
And your daughter.
Yeah.
Just savages. So, and they should all be dragged out into a public square and dragged around by horses or something.
Yeah.
Anyone that does that, because you're just wasting everyone else's valuable oxygen. You should be catapulted into space. If you've seen The Watchmen, this is a bit of a spoiler. Jeremy Irons, who's playing
I'm assuming
smartest
this,
man in the world.
I'm assuming this isn't the movie. This is
the series,
Yeah, okay.
which is amazing. There's a storyline where one of the characters is basically catapulting these clones that he has into space. He just puts them in this old style medieval catapult. He's somehow made strong enough that just pops them up in the atmosphere. So yeah, we need to yeet those motherfuckers out of existence. You know, she's genuinely worried for her life because some of these guys do take it too far. And I don't think anything's going to happen, but I can't imagine what it's like going through that day by day.
It's not the actor's fault. It's
the fucking writer, but even then you don't, it's just a fucking video game. You don't,
it's just
I think there's no one that deserves anything like that.
I know Troy Baker was taking it a bit personally, the Last of Us 2, which he shouldn't. From what I've seen, no one's picking on Troy Baker. Like Josh,
He's probably sticking up for like.
He's sticking up for the others.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting that it seems like he's taking it a little bit to heart, like, because I think if you've ever been invested in something, like you've purchased a movie or you've purchased a video game or you've backed something on Kickstarter or something.
No Man's Sky. Okay.
Yeah. And then let's just pretend that you really like it.
Okay, so not No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Got it.
But like you might be invested in said thing. Or maybe you bought a new phone or something and you really like it, but it's actually really shit.
Oh no, wait, it's not bad. You had some issues, but
I had some issues when they sent me a defective one, and then I had to have an argument with Samsung for a little while and Optus.
Yeah.
But I won.
And if I had that phone, I'm like, this is a really good phone. I like this. But because you're like invested in this and you've had such a bad experience with it, then fuck this. Like it's you might take it really personally. And us as humans kind of do that sometimes. And I just thought that was interesting. I think he handled it pretty gracefully, rather than other people telling him to F off. He was like, I'm just going to leave this quote here.
What did he say?
From what I can tell, he wasn't specifically saying anything. He was leaving like those inspirational quotes and things like that. But these quotes were basically along the lines of fuck critics or fuck the really harsh critics because they don't have lives and yada yada and they should go get a life.
Okay, fair enough. So nothing too like.
Yeah. He handled it a lot better than what other people did. So.
Recently, I rewatched Avatar: Last Airbender on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And I have a bone to pick.
Isn't that quite long?
Yeah.
Which one? Legend of Korra?
No, I haven't even seen Legend of Korra at all.
Okay,
I gotta watch that next.
Because that's like the sequel series.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, my issue is if you're an earthbender, a waterbender, or a firebender, I don't care. Like if you've mastered your element, cool. But the issue being is, what in your right mind makes you go, you know what? I'm going to fight the guy who's mastered all 4 elements. I'm sure that'll go well. Like...
Aren't they all kids? So they've just
I'm
got hubris and ego, and they're like, I'm going to be the one. It's like if you watch that high school academy thing where they're all fighting each other.
Okay, so I'm
massive
going to
buildings.
hand you firebending. Now, I want you to go fight that little 12-year-old bald boy over there who not only can firebend, he can also waterbend, earthbend, and airbend. Oh, and by the way, when you're about to kill him, he's going to go into full-end Zen nah fuck ya mode.
Does he have, like the guy,
Skip
the
that.
main dude, does he have, like, a big reputation?
No, he's a
Like-
12-year-old kid who's been missing for 100 years.
So, and everyone knows this?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like fucking willy-nilly. No, this is basically like Goku. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows he's basically like fucking powerful.
In the state, he's not like, his reputation is he's a 12-year-old kid who's been sort of missing for 100 years, but at the same right, it's like he's the Avatar. Everyone knows he's the Avatar.
So how can he be 12? Was he frozen?
He was frozen for 100 years. Like, who in their right mind goes, I'm gonna fight the Avatar? I'll fight you, James Cameron.
To play devil's advocate, some of them might be thinking, well, if I beat him, then I'll be known as the guy who killed this fucking piece of shit. Like I'll be this great guy. But at the same time, as you just said, if everyone knows that this guy is like this ancient...
Yeah, but that's like sitting on the side of the court and being pretty good at pickup basketball and then going into a Chicago Bulls game in like the mid-90s and going, hey, Jordan, it's time.
yeah.
And in the same right, even if you kill the Avatar, he just gets reincarnated into the next bending thing.
They know this, really?
Yes, because it goes water, earth, fire, air. The last Avatar was a firebender. The one before that was an earthbender. Avatar Aang is an airbender. Korra is a waterbender. It goes in that order every single fucking time. Unless you kill the Avatar when he's in his Avatar state, which is the Zen, nah, fuck ya, you lose state, he comes back.
Okay.
If you kill him in that state, the cycle ends. No one's done that, obviously.
Okay.
Because then we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that one day because
It's a good
it does get referenced a lot on social media
Yeah.
and Reddit. And
It's the current viral thing on TikTok. That and Ben 10. There's a lot of Omnitrix jokes on TikTok.
yeah, my older son watched that a lot as a kid. So.
That was a banger of a show. So did I.
Right.
Yeah, Diamond Head.
You're gonna get that one comment to be...
Who played the older guy? Like there was this big chunky dude.
Do you think I knew voice actors as 10-year-old?
You mean...
Well, that's why I don't know if you saw the latest Andrew Schultz video, and he's talking about all the what would you call it? It's like the latest Me Too, where everyone's jumping on the bandwagon for good reasons.
Is it the Speak Out hashtag?
Yeah, it's like, is that it? Like it's a Black Lives Matter related type thing.
No.
And it's where a lot of voice actors have now decided to not play.
Oh yeah, like Alison Brie.
Yes.
Alison Brie apologized for playing the Asian.
Yeah, well, you know what? That always
BoJack
rang
Horseman.
funny with me. Like that just didn't ring true. Like once I love Alison Brie, and I think I mentioned this before. When I found out it was her playing an Asian character, I was always a little bit like, do you have to do that? You know, and I know.
Where are we gonna stop?
Yeah, I know. It's a cartoon, whatever. Like this. Now we're here. Let's go there. The Simpsons, Family Guy.
Cleveland show. Oh, Family Guy.
Show with all the angry kids that have got like hormonal monsters following them around. And,
Big Math.
yeah, a lot of these shows.
God,
like
yeah.
every popular cartoon currently has gone, yeah, we're not going to do any more actors that aren't that character's colour playing that character, whatever race they are.
Really? What? Like The Simpsons too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Apu.
Family Guy.
He's gone. He's done.
There was still a few other actors like the dude that plays Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's done
Yeah.
with him. And he also did the Spanish or Latino maid. Okay. So,
No, Mr. Superman, no here.
sorry. I'm not going to
We
try.
out of Lemon Pledge.
I've seen too many good cosplays.
No, you buy.
I really want, speaking of cosplay, if I can find, and I know that shit's expensive, but like a really cool Western outfit, they'll probably have to look at the actual character on the game. But there's a guy that walks around the world of Red Dead Redemption just going, Gavin,
Oh, yeah.
Gavin, has anyone seen Gavin? Well, no, I can't believe someone surely has done that, but I've never heard it.
Okay.
So I just think that would be cheap.
The cosplays I always want to do is just pick a random Simpsons character. I really want to just shave my head and do Groundskeeper Willie. I just really want to.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Doesn't he have a lot of facial hair, though?
Big, thick...
Like-
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put a red beard on.
You got the body. He's got like a six-pack and shit.
Exactly.
Something where you can be performative. You can use that talent.
But brothers and sisters are natural enemies, like Englishmen and Scots, or Welshmen and Scots.
Speaking of Scottish people, they're doing a remake of the Highlander series. So
Can only be one.
Wasn't
Is
there
that
only
right?
like
Is that Highlander?
yeah, and I love
yeah,
how
like
he's
one? Wasn't there only like
played by Sean Connery, who's supposed to be Spanish.
Is he
You
coming back?
shall not pass. I'm doing it again.
Wait,
No, he's not dead, but he's retired.
I was about to say, like, yeah, he's
No,
not dead.
he's not
I
dead.
think he's like
His career.
He's on his way. Yeah,
But that was like he went out gracefully. He probably did a couple of movies he didn't need to, but he went out.
He
pretty
didn't
much
go
at the
like
top.
Charlie Sheen.
It's like Jack Nicholson.
his last film was good.
He didn't
but
like, his career's dead. He's trying to be relevant. He's very much stayed out of any kind of social media type.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not,
Jack Nicholson though could go star pretty much anything still.
I don't know, he kind of looks like he's pretty far gone now.
I mean, look at
Maybe a voice actor.
look at
Disappointed he wasn't in the Shining sequel.
Doesn't something happen to your voice? That's what I'm worried about with podcasting. Once you hit like 70, like my career's going to be a lot shorter than you guys.
You think you're
I
gonna
did that weird old man voice.
You think we're gonna be doing this when you're 70?
Oh, I mean,
I'm
it
optimistic.
can, but sometimes that can give you different work. Like Tim Curry had a stroke. He's still in some stuff, and his voice is obviously fucked. But it just means he's in a different kind of.
Marty McFly.
Yeah, Marty. Well, like, what? I don't remember. I don't
He's
know.
got Parkinson's.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
okay.
Has he done any voice work?
Probably.
I know he's done work since he had Parkinson's, but it's been hard.
Yeah.
So heart goes out to him. Like he did that one appearance with Doc Brown, and when they went on the Jimmy Fallon show or something, and it was like, as the characters from Back to the Future. That was really cool. And they're like,
And everyone's like, "Can
smartphones
we get a Back to the Future 4?" And he's just like, "No."
Yeah, I like that the directors stuck to their guns and were like, it's never going to happen, and no one else will make it as long as I'm alive and I have the rights. Not going to happen.
Sometimes you just got to leave shit alone.
Yeah, like they always wanted to do a second Blazing Saddles. And apparently Mel Brooks was like, unless you go and make a TV show that's based on Blazing Saddles and has the same humor and do like a whole bunch of episodes, there's no way it's going to happen. Like I'm not going to allow it. He had that in the contract. And then, so what did they do? Warner Brothers went and made 4 seasons of a TV show based on Blazing Saddles, and only one episode made it to air at like 2 a.m. It was a pilot. It had Louis Gossett Jr., except back then it was just Louis Gossett for some reason. And it was 4 seasons, just so they could do a sequel film to Blazing Saddles.
Wow.
That's
But
bad
by the time
spite.
it got to that, that's spite. When it got to that stage where they were about to do the movie, there was like a change in leadership, and then they scrapped the movie anyway. So it's crazy.
What a waste.
You want to watch?
Yeah,
Apparently, if you get like as a special DVD, you can see that one episode. But it just seems like such a waste. Like all the actors would have been sitting around after 3 seasons. Like, what do people think of the second season? Like, I'm telling my family this is on somewhere. It's so weird. Imagine. It's like almost
Hey man,
a podcast.
if you just
that
pay
do for-
me, you don't ever have to show it. Just pay me, like I'm cheap, man.
It's kind of depressing though. Like you're putting all this effort into it and hard work and 12-hour days, and you're
Yeah,
getting
but it's just
paid,
like
but
it's a situation of it's like, so we're never gonna be able to see it. Nah, aren't you upset at that? Yeah, I got paid.
I don't know. I think some actors wouldn't be able to handle that. Let's see.
Jared Leto,
The big news in the Batman world is that
Michael Keaton,
of course, coming back for the Flashpoint storyline, which to me is like it gets referenced so much. I think they were touching on it in the.
Man, everything's touched Flashpoint. Flashpoint's touched Flashpoint.
Yeah, but they were even like there was a cutaway scene in the
Arrow versus touched Flashpoint.
Yeah, of course they've done it, but I mean, even in the last, was it Zack Snyder? Then Joss Whedon jumped in. Got news about that, of course, because now they're doing the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, when's that coming out again?
It's
coming out here
sometime this year. I don't know. But
let's see if I find the answer to that question.
Hopefully, it ends up in one of the now 6 different streaming networks you can get. We got this new thing, Binge.
Never heard of it.
No, I think it's run by the.
They've got Netflix, Stan, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, other stuff.
Yeah.
That we'll just I'll put photos of either here or back here if I can get that to work.
I've got Disney, Amazon, Netflix, Stan, Foxtel now,
No, I don't pay for that.
and now there'll be Binge. So it'll hopefully end up on one of those things.
Yeah.
What else? So that's the Zack Snyder cut that's coming out. Yeah, but in the Justice League film, there was a whole like you could see like the other Flash running at some point and came back to tell him something. There was a whole subplot there where they were like putting in a little breadcrumb So later on, they could do the Flashpoint thing, which is what I guess it's still in that universe because it's the same actor that played the Flash. So they haven't completely scrapped everything. And there's talks that Henry Cavill will still sort of pop in now and then as Superman.
Yeah.
Not in his own film, unfortunately, but like as a character. So that's good. I think obviously they're going to have to change out whoever Batman will be. It won't be the guy that's doing a Batman movie real soon. That's going to be its own thing, like the Joker.
He's forgotten Robert Pattinson's name.
It's Robert Pattinson, yeah. No, I was trying to think of the director, but that's like a whole separate thing. So
yeah, but see, the same right.
It's going to be like 3 Batmans within the space of 3 years.
But they also want to make a sequel to Joker now because it was so popular.
Yeah, but that's going to be like its own whole other corner of the universe, which is cool. Multiverse, with Flashpoint that could work. You could bring in that whole. Is it called the multiverse in DC? Because I know in the Marvel, the next Doctor Strange movie that opens up a lot of doors to like potential how they can bring the mutants back in and actually call them mutants into the fold of Disney. Because with that storyline's rumored to be obviously multiple universes. And imagine having all the Batman meet. Like you could have obviously Michael Keaton works as like an older Batman. I don't know if you know the Flashpoint storyline that well. Like
here's what happens if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Flash fucks some shit up. Am I right?
I think it's Reverse Flash or something. I know I've heard Kevin Smith talk about it a lot. I still haven't read the actual entire story in the comics, but it's pretty cool. It's like really convoluted and it takes a long time to get through. But if they wrap it up in a movie, it could be pretty sweet. Like the sacrifices that Batman makes to defeat Darkseid. Like he puts himself in the future and just does all this like groundwork and slowly sends stuff back through time to help them somehow jump through time to help him take down Darkseid. And basically, I think Michael Keaton is from that. It's a different universe where he's like Batman's dad, and then they somehow get to sort of communicate briefly. Like he's in a universe where his son died, and then Batman's dad became Batman. It's like a whole nother. I might be getting two different stories.
No, so isn't I thought in the Flashpoint movie, what's his name? The Negan actor was supposed to play Batman's dad.
Well, that's what's confusing. I thought it was him too, and now it's all Michael Keaton, which works because
I'm not going to Google
it could totally
this.
be an old, like retired Batman that lives in the future, helping them, and then he was Batman at one point in our memories as children, at least one of them. You guys were probably still.
He's an old fuck.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. I was like, holy shit, this is dark. This is Michael Keaton Batman.
And I'm just like...
Michael Keaton, the one with the pointy nipples?
No, that's George Clooney. How do you...
George...
Yeah. That was Joel Schumacher's Batman, wasn't it?
Like,
He
what
recently
was it?
died.
Not...
I'm
like
thinking
Val
of,
Kilmer.
I'm thinking of Tim Burton.
And apparently there's a super long part. It's maybe 2 hours long. I have to double check. But it's Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever. And they had to chop it all up because...
No, Batman Forever's Val Kilmer, though.
It's Batman Returns. Either way, there's a really long, darker cut.
Of George Clooney Batman.
Yeah.
That's Batman and Robin.
I thought it might be Val Kilmer. I really have to do my research before I bring this stuff up.
I'm not going to correct him at all in the video either, because that's effort that I'm just going to put up here that says, who the fucking knows what he's talking about.
You still make him work for yourself.
Yeah, but like I was going to do it either way.
Yeah. I'd like to see that cut. I wasn't a big fan of those. Like, it was kind of the nadir of the Batman era, like when Val Kilmer and Clooney were in there, and it was a bit like, well, it's out. There's not much else to choose from.
You didn't like Jim Carrey as the Riddler?
I don't even think I watched that entire movie. Like the one with, Mr. Freeze, Arnie.
No, that's Batman and Robin.
Right. That was terrible. That was just, there was nothing about that I liked. It was just so cheesy. Like I hit teenagerhood at that point, and anything like that just smacked of like super mainstream, shoved down your throat. Schlock.
Nice to see you.
I can make, just.
It's great though.
There are moments, and I felt like, again, I think it was Ken Smith that did like a commentary track while I watched it. It did sound like there was some redeeming features to it, but generally that whole take, I'd much prefer doing like the Christopher Nolan style universe of it. So hopefully with Robert Pattinson and whoever's directing him, they can get back to that sort of...
Yeah, but people are shitting on his Batmobile, and I'm like, leave the Mustang alone.
It's not a Mustang. some shitty looking Hot Wheels thing. I don't know. I'm not going to get too worked up.
It feels like though.
No, I'm just being dismissive because I haven't seen it yet in its context, like of where it's supposed to be in the film and with the right atmosphere and lighting and lead in. We'll see. We'll give it a chance. Like that's one thing that Batman did with Michael Keaton. It had the coolest Batmobile ever, and I don't think I've seen one top it. Christian Bale.
There it is.
I think at the Dark Knight, and he had that one where it got smacked around.
I mean, it
became just a bike.
Oh,
That was pretty cool. He came close. That was probably the most practical and efficient.
The tank that turns into a bike.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking sweet. Like, it might not have been a beautiful car to look at, like the Batman
The
car.
Arkham games
Yeah.
did some pretty decent Batmobiles.
Yeah. In terms of brutal, like effectively being just this fighting machine, it's almost like a mecha with wheels. Like, it had so many different things you could do with it. They achieved that. But I think in terms of just almost looking like a work of art, I don't think you can top the Michael Keaton Batman.
I did think that was funny. I never kill. I'm Batman. By the way, check out my big, massive fucking tank over here. Because didn't it have like missiles and shit on it as well?
Everything.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the problem people had with the first movie. Is
That'll kill it.
he had machine guns on that thing.
Yeah.
He was killing people.
Eternal bleeding.
Fucking shit.
That guy clearly died.
Concussions left and right.
But that's what Batman wasn't doing. In the early, original Batman films, yeah, he was
Bang!
shooting people.
Slap.
Yeah.
He had a gun, way back in the 40s or whatever, but from, I think the 60s to the 90s, he was, super clean. And then Tim Burton was like, no, fuck that, let's shoot everyone.
He got dirty.
But what do you expect?
Moving on.
It's like,
Did we cover the Redskins Chicos thing?
yes.
I believe we did, yeah.
I know we did some products. I know we did the cereals and the cheese. I think we got to Redskins and Chicos.
Redskins.
I'm hoping they get called Thin Skins
Skins.
for boomers. And
Can we change them to
I don't know
red
about
rockets?
Chicos.
Have them in the shape of little rockets.
I don't
Oh,
think they can afford to change
that's
the-
not what I thought you were going.
What did you think?
Sorry,
Did you
but
think?
the term "red rocket" is sort of usually how a dog's penis.
I know that. I know that. That's the whole joke. But you'd shape it like a little rock. Hey, fucking Fallout calls it the Red Rocket. Fucking they have the little.
Yes,
If they can get away with it. Then
but it's a video game.
yeah, this is
I've
a
never heard
nice
that term.
childhood candy treat.
guess
That is a nice, lovely video game. So you pop people's heads off.
All right, so believe it or not, Mel Gibson has been accused of anti-Semitism.
Lovely.
The guy who starred in Passion of the Christ, a
Yeah.
racist?
I
No.
mean, everyone knows this, obviously, but it was some of the stuff that Winona Ryder came out with. She specifically announced, the exact wording of it. She goes, there are times when people have said, wait, you're Jewish, but you're so pretty. We're at a crowded party with one of my good friends, and Mel Gibson was smoking a cigar. And we're all talking, and he said to my friend, who's gay? Oh, wait, am I going to get AIDS? And then something came up about Jews. And he said, you're not an oven dodger, are you? Apparently he tried to apologise later, but yeah, it's pretty bad. I'd never heard that term before, and I was like, dude.
How do you dodge an
I've spent way too much time on 4chan, and I haven't even heard that there.
I don't want to laugh at it, but as someone's family
It's
who is
just-
Jewish
it's
and we
just
survived
stupid.
the Holocaust, I'm going to a little.
Mm.
It's very
It's
racist.
at the absurdity of it.
But I'm laughing at the absurdity of it, yes.
Yes.
Also, yeah, like I said, Jewish heritage.
Yeah, and she had family who died in the camps.
Yeah.
And so she obviously wasn't too impressed.
That's one of the things where it's like, man, I'm here because of Hitler. Because of Hitler, I'm in this country.
Whoa, deep cuts. That's getting a bit... It's almost dark. But in a positive way, because now we're all together. So.
Don't you try and get
There are,
both
it's
yourselves
weird
out of the
when-
hole. Embrace the fucking hole like I do.
We could weigh that up. We could have... If we could go back in time and kill Hitler. But then some of the things that happened after World War II turned out to be... more women were employed in jobs that they hadn't been before. They had become mechanics. And, war has some weirdly good side effects sometimes.
Oh,
Generally,
war
it's fine.
is...
It'd be nicer if we
is-
didn't have to go to war to get to those improvements, but
There's plays and movies about... war is one of the most biggest profiteering things.
War dogs.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily a
It's
positive.
it's not a good thing for humanity, but it's great for other people that want to make money. There's tons. There's this play that's really good. I can't fucking remember what it's called. I don't think
Death of Self.
Hamilton.
Tempest.
Yeah.
Hairspray.
Hairspray.
Just thinking of random plays that I know.
Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Wait, does that promote? Wait, does that talk?
The Book of Mormon.
Look, you're just naming fucking movies that has anything to do with war.
Obviously.
Like even a teen sequence.
Book of Eli.
Warhorse.
What the hey, you just spurt names. I don't know.
3 Men and a Baby.
What the fuck?
I don't think that was a play.
Back to the Future 3.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right. So next article. Apparently, Dungeons and Dragons is very forcibly moving away from racial stereotypes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Why are you frowning? That's awesome. No longer will goblins automatically be assumed to be a race of thieves and like ne'er-do-wells. Every potential race, I don't know if we need to go into it's on PCGamer.com. It's also been
Pocahontas.
out on a few other.
Yeah, but like, what do they mean by that though? Like everyone is always, you can't.
2016's Curse of Strahd, for instance, contained the Vistani, a group of Romani tropes.
Okay.
Made from Romani tropes, so they're basically supposed to be gypsies, which I'm not sure you can say anymore if you're not one yourself. And one that exacerbated negative stereotypes. So they've made changes, and it's also planning to explore the Vistani further into upcoming books. So it's about how they write about them in their novels as well, I guess.
Okay.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Drow and orcs are just as complex as other races, and that's how they'll be presented going forward. Because the problem is when you've got one race and it's always being shat on, it's like they're the evil underground elves that always do bad things, and they're dark elves.
Yeah, but
they're always like coming up in the night and assassinating people, and they're just basically pieces of shit.
But there are races like that.
Yeah, but that's the problem is that when you've got someone that is a person of colour and they're seeing a race that's been constantly pilloried and made out as this two-dimensional like evil thing,
Bad Boys.
They relate to that and go, well, this is pretty fucked. I hear about those kind of things said about me because I was born with more melanin in my skin.
So are you telling me that people are going to get offended because like a black person is going to look at an orc or something and be like, oh, they're treated as dumb and stupid, so therefore I'm dumb and stupid?
It's not quite that simple. There's a bit more nuance to it than that. I think it's more like if you make it acceptable to generalize about an entire race all the time and just go, that's an evil race because it was born into that race, then someone who is from a race that's always being picked on just because of their race will see parallels in that and go, well, I guess that's all right to do that then.
Well, if they want to extend on the law,
it would be a bit depressing.
If they want, like Warhammer explains into great fucking detail why orcs are big and fucking brutish and all they want to do is kill. Yeah. And it's not because it's not necessarily because they're stupid. They explain why. If that's what they mean, sure, go for it.
Yeah, I think they're just adding more complex worlds.
The law,
that's fine.
Okay.
Some like Dritz Do'Urden, one of the greatest Drow warriors of all time, came from an evil, fucked up society. And I'm hoping it was more the culture of it rather than the race. Because obviously they're just elves that went dark because they live underground. Even though things that live under, they're quite white, actually. They've got pale skin, so...
Well, I know...
They just wear black a lot? I don't know. But...
I know in Warhammer, there's dark elves basically because of the gods. Basically...
I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons here.
I know, I'm just saying that, it's probably not just because they're inherently evil. They're probably... But for all, even with Strahd is inherently just overall an evil person. I know Strahd.
Yeah, as an individual, but some vampires might be nice. Did you have to change them?
Yes, there probably is nice people, but also at the same time, vampires and shit, at least probably coming from Dungeons and Dragons, born from demons and shit. Demons are like the devil and hell and shit, so inherently...
Well, they don't really have hell if we know it.
You might have a misunderstood vampire. You might have you might have an evil vampire, but has a good... Like, they were once good, and now they're bad.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with the lore and all that, but yeah.
Tinkerbell the movie.
Still going with the movie. He's never going to remember the play. Don't worry about it.
And then he needed to tell me these.
No, I think that's I listed that in Facebook group called Exiles, and eventually it got locked because there was just too much arguing going on, and they were like, "Yeah, it's interesting, but we're just gonna stop it here." They're one of those groups where they're very like, "We don't want people getting cross,
Apocalypse
upset."
The Irishman.
But there was some good discussions there. And I just think people see a headline like that and just go, "Oh, they're getting too offended by the fact that we're
offended.
Yeah, I just
If
think it's
anyone
worth
is-
looking into, because I at first was like, "Come on." I had an initial reaction like you, but once I read a few responses and explaining what they meant to do, it actually made sense. And I'd never imagined like that whole thing about being a person of color and relating goblin or whatever it is that's always being thrown out there as like they're just this race, so they're just automatically bad.
Yeah.
And then hearing that sort of thing about your own race, I hadn't thought of that angle, so I was like, "Oh,
I feel like
see why that's not a good thing."
I feel like though if you're relating, I like the idea of extending on the law. I don't like people. I'm not sure if I'm 50-50 on that other bit. You're saying that people like. I don't like the idea of I relate to.
Like I might not be explaining it as well.
No. I can kind of. Yeah, I mean, I might relate to elves in this way, but I'm not really sure about what the elves are doing here. So I'd like that to be changed.
I don't think
something.
that's what.
But like,
I don't think. That's
yeah.
it.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't quite grasp that area, but I like the idea of extending on the law. Sure.
Oh, we'll go with
Fuck
that.
yeah.
50 Shades of Dark Elves.
Yeah.
Now that I would watch. That's
Yeah, I
still
would
the only movie
read
I
it.
walked out of.
Audiobook?
50 Shades of Grey.
The only movie I
Do it.
walked out of is because I got dragged to see it. Was
Well,
it was no, it was the Disney musical one that it was just all singing Into the Woods.
To the woods.
Yeah, because I wasn't told what we were seeing. I was just told it was called Into the Woods, and I went, "That sounds like a horror movie."
That had Josh out, didn't it?
Yeah, and then so me and all
It's never a good sign.
and all the boys just sort of turned their cars around to the drive-ins, and we were watching American Sniper instead. And then and then the girls were just like, "You know what? We're done with this," and we're like, "Yeah, all right. I guess we'll go."
Yeah. You'd already seen American Sniper?
Yeah.
How do you? Because can you just change the channel to listen to that too?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. All right, cool.
Shit, yeah.
Ron Jeremy. That's all I've written down. I didn't have an article.
I don't remember what he did, but
He sexually assaulted a bunch of people.
well then.
I don't want to slander porn stars in general.
I don't want to say the irony of him being a giant dick, but
That's all I got. I don't know. Just fuck that guy. He's cancelled. That's all.
okay, I remember what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever the new generation that's getting butthurt lately is, have just discovered Tropic Thunder.
Oh, leave it alone, you
this is
fucking pansies.
This is the Paw Patrol thing. I haven't seen one person actually mad about it that I've been able to talk to. You know, it's always showing a headline saying people are outraged about Tropic Thunder, but I'm yet to find someone who will stand behind that. So I don't know. I think it's just clickbait to get people upset, because everyone who's actually seen the movie or knows anything about the story behind it or has half a brain knows that the whole point of it was to make fun of idiots who think blackface is okay. So yeah, it doesn't really hold water.
Yeah, the whole film is established as ridiculous. It's about context.
Yeah. No, anyone that's getting upset about that just needs to fucking sit down and actually watch it or do any kind of research. It's the same with like a recent episode of, recently an episode of Golden Girls. I don't think they've shot anything for 30 or 40 years, was deleted from the streaming channel it was on. And because they were wearing mud masks.
Which, come on.
And there's an inherent problem there where there's a lot of corporations and media companies and whatever jumping on the bandwagon of like symbolic gestures that don't actually change anything.
Yep.
What the Black Lives Matter movement want is like an end to systemic racism, to injustice in the courts, in sentencing, in conscious bias by cops, even black cops. I remember hearing a really interesting like podcast where this guy said, I had it too. And I didn't realize until I did this training that I will treat other black men worse than white men because of the training and the culture that I'm in. So yeah, they've really got to just have a huge culture shift over there. I'm not saying Australia is perfect. Like we've got our own issues with. There's just a lot smaller, I think. Like the
It takes 4 years to become a cop here.
Yeah,
4 years.
Yeah, 4
Well,
years.
I think the training out there is 8 months or 9 months or something.
Oh yeah, it's like 2-year university course, and
Yeah.
and then you're on probation for like 2 years after the training. So it's like 4 years to become a proper officer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with the protests and everything, I saw tweets being shared around from guys that were like in the academy and like, we've been fast tracked to go to the protests and help beat up people. But thankfully, yeah, a lot of cops have been like called out and since fired for even making racist social media posts, which in the past would have just been ignored. So things are slowly improving. I don't know. We'll get there. I'm going to read this fucking thing because I missed it last time. And I know you don't want to, but there's got to be something here. They're replacing all these Confederate statues that people are ripping down. There was another really cool statue they were going to put in, but I forget what it was. But this one is going to be in West Virginia. It's going to be Mothman. I'm pretty sure it's a character from that's basically a cryptid is any kind of monster that's grown up through urban legend. Like, what are those giant ape men that walk around the woods?
Ape men that walk around the woods. Cavemen.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, that one.
Bigfoot, yeah.
Some reason I had that in my head, but I was like, no, that's the monster truck. That's not what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I mean, it was a character in Fallout, which is the first time I'd come across it. I think, obviously, Fallout 76, because that was set in West Virginia.
Which Fallout 76 is now on Game Pass, so I will not be playing it.
It's not bad.
I'm surprised that even, like, at some point it was basically free.
I can give you a quick review of it. Imagine Fallout 4, but you smacked it in the head with a shovel, and you still love it unconditionally, but at the end of the day, it's been smacked in the head with a shovel. Functioning.
It's a legend. It's a legend that originated in the town of Point Pleasant, when locals spotted a man-sized bird creature prior to the 1967 Silver Bridge collapse. They killed 46 people. He was blamed and seen as a bad omen. And he continued to appear around major disasters and attracted Hollywood interest with the movie The Mothman Prophecies, which starred Richard Gere and Laura Linney, who's really good in Ozarks. So yeah, there's a 13-foot metallic Mothman statue that opened a research center in 2005. They stuck him out the front, and it just looks pretty cool. And go Google that. Or maybe you can and put it there, but essentially that should replace all the Confederate statues everywhere.
Unless I missed it, I'm sorry, what was the purpose of putting the Mothman there?
It's not a Confederate.
Part of their local culture and folklore, and they want to celebrate just a really cool looking statue. I don't know. Instead of having like places slave owners.
I know somebody's going to be a lot of been like, fuck yeah, Mothman. And I'm just like, you're one of those.
You're one of those, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you go run off into the woods, Vic Crippets.
Yeah.
Well, if you wanna show different statues off, okay, I think that's fine.
I mean, I'll run off into the woods, but I'll do it with wolves, you know. Like.
Running with the wolves. Running with the bulls. I thought it was running with the wolves.
I'd love for that stuff to be true, but then I got old and I was like, yeah, we'd probably know about it by now.
I have a book on mythology.
Running with the wolves, ¿por qué no las dos? Anyway, excellent segue, ¿por qué no las dos?
Are we going to bring up?
I mean, I just did a segue to it, did I not?
There's not that much to say. She's super hot now. She's 20, don't worry. No, she was, 5 in the clip that came out 15 years ago or something?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was there not a proper actual news article on this, or was this a point you were making earlier on Facebook?
No, there was an article. And it's normally like there's that Zerg.net down the bottom of your screen, and you see all these like crappy clickbait things like, look where they are now, and all your favourite 80s, 90s stars or whatever, or that kid, what did they be? That really ugly fat kid, look, now they're super hot, or the other way around.
Neville?
Yeah, basically. Like, that's exactly. Neville Longbottom was the subject of quite a few of those clickbait things. But this one, I was like, yeah, what happened to her? Because that became a meme, and she's just a really cool chick.
And she lives in Western Sydney. And
that's right.
I've met her. I met her at a rock climbing gym, and I went, oh my god.
How'd you know it was her, though?
You've changed my life. Fucking, because my mate had met her before.
Oh, because you wouldn't, like, recognize...
Because I used to reference, because I would constantly reference that ad. Anytime when someone gives me an A or a B, I just go, fucking on those dos.
Exactly. It became, like,
and I think,
stock answer.
I think that was just, I think a bunch of people knew her at the rock climbing gym.
Right.
So...
Yeah, from the article, basically, she wasn't really happy with all the attention. She didn't know how to deal with it, but I think she's accepted it now. And that brings up another point. It's way ahead of me, but that's fine, because segue. There was a meme being passed around and recently posted in my Cosplay in Action Facebook group. It was deleted. I don't know who by, possibly by the original, because that can happen where a bunch of people complain and then the person that posted it was like, oh, fuck this, and we'll delete it.
Yeah.
So it might not have been an admin. I'm on the fence. I was like, I would have probably left it back in the day, whereas now I'm a bit more like, oh, I've got to keep everyone happy.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially it was Violet from the...
we've brought this up before.
Have we though?
Yes.
Well, it came up again. I just want to see what you think of it because I don't know if you were here.
Matt wasn't here. This was the episode that Matt wasn't here.
Matt's hot take, and I know what it's going to be.
Is it Violet looking at her mum's?
No, it's Violet has a and there's a new issue because Peter brought this up a few times, and it's not just about the fact that the character is 14, right, or whatever. She's a teenager, young girl in the show, right? The cosplayer is whatever 20, and she's cosplaying this character.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right, so you've got a picture of the cosplayer in costume.
Yep.
Then you've got a picture of just the butt plug and something else. Like
nipple piercings.
Nipple piercings, right. And that's it. Like they're floating in the air. So obviously her thing is she turns invisible, but for some reason you can see the butt plug and the nipple piercings just sitting there. I kind of chuckled the first time, but then everyone was like, oh my God, the character's 14, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, but she's not 14.
The person depicting it is not 14.
So
if the person himself...
That, as again,
I don't know.
I was on the side of the joke until I had found out that the person who had made that meme was not the cosplayer.
Exactly.
Was a
this is my other issue. I don't know if we talk about this.
Okay.
Is it ethically okay to laugh at memes where the person who's the subject of that meme didn't give consent to be in the meme? If we can't do that, then that's sort of like 90% of all memes.
That's sort of the origin.
Yeah, that has to be allowed.
But in the same right of sort of sexualizing someone in purposes of a meme.
But it's not sexualizing them specifically. Like you're not going to take that meme and be like,
you could say, hey, you don't hold it to the internet.
It's a sexual joke. Definitely, but
I agree with you, but you could, if you were an asshole, you could loosely argue. God damn it! You could. I'm not doing it on purpose. You could argue that it is mildly sexualized because they're sex toys. So
sure.
Like, you're hinting at stuff. I agree with you that like it's like no, you're stretching it fucking thin, mate.
I just think that's a real stretch. Like to go with that argument. Oh, okay, she's not 14, but she didn't consent to be in a meme. I'm just like, well, neither did fucking 50 other people.
Nobody
that I can think of, like that old guy that's like Harold, whatever. And there's been articles where they've interviewed him and were like, what do you think that you became famous? Because it was just a stock photo used by Shutterstock or Google Images or whatever. And he's just got that kill me face.
The only thing that I would potentially disagree with at all is if this image was taken by someone else and he's added these plugs and stuff and he hasn't really done much to it and he's attempting to profit off it by the means of selling them as prints or something. But that's kind of a difference
in the history of memes.
Sold a meme.
Ever made money from them? I mean, if you could make money from say GIFs, like every single time you used a GIF of an actor. They would get like 1 cent.
Sometimes people will make them into t-shirts and stuff, but I know that's a different thing.
Hello, Redbubble.
Like, but I mean, that's not.
It's I'm trying to like
throw that made the meme. That's usually just someone else that said that meme's funny. I'm putting it on a shirt.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw the offended people a bone. I agree with you. I think it's that they're kind of bitching and moaning a bit too much. I think it's.
I'm not completely with it either. Like I didn't repost it going, hey, it got deleted, but here we are and we're going to stand by it and I'll fight for... I'm going to die on this hill of being allowed to post this clearly offensive to a lot of people meme. I just left it and was like, I'm not going to stoke that fire as much as I like to do that sometimes. In this case, I'm a bit on the fence because if that many people are calling it out, like it was just a barrage of comments of like, this is fucked. And
the entire new Cosplay Australia group.
Yeah, that cosplay
inclusive bombarded it.
Yeah, I think it lasted in there for like 2 seconds, and then it was brought up in like reference. Like they didn't even have the image. It was just like everyone knew what they were talking about, and it was just like, no, you cannot have anything like this. Good on the admins for kicking them out, all that sort of thing. And I was just like, okay, that's where we're at.
I don't like
just
that.
trying to get on board and understand the outrage. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong. Clearly, there's a legitimate reason why people are so upset. I'm not being facetious. I'm genuinely really want to get on board with what's going on and not just to be virtue signaling. Like, I want to be a better person and be, more, God, I hate, because if I say woke, it's going to sound fucking facetious. Like, but I generally want to understand and be empathetic and be like, I want to be in their shoes and know why they're upset.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember back in the day when there was all those silly memes of like the Simpsons characters in sexual like poses with each other or whatever, and that was just like, oh my God, I never expected to see that. I wish I hadn't. Kind of, I guess I was a teenager, so it's kind of just laughing at something that's there for the sake of being edgy, which I guess this was a callback to. Of like, she couldn't have that sort of thing displayed because it's an innocent cartoon, and it's the juxtaposition of something so adult with something so childlike. So that's the joke. I guess it's not very sophisticated humor, but there's a place for it. I just don't think we should be shutting stuff down unless you've got a really good.
I'm just shocked we've gone on about this for so long.
I know. It's way too long. But I was hoping someone would have like something that would help me see into. I guess at some point when we have a guest that is a bit more with it, that has another perspective on it, then I'll bring it up again.
So Peter,
be educated. The problem with Peter jumps on bandwagons. Like he's outraged for the sake of it.
Peter fights for the sake of fighting.
Did elaborate very much on that.
Because again, I've called him out a few times on that, where he's like shared a post and been like, "Fuck yeah, finally this." And I go, Peter, can you tell me what's in that article? And he can't.
I know other people on the other side of it, like on the right, like Tyler, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Wolvie.
Yeah, he'll share like really right wing things, like all lives matter. What's wrong with saying that? And then everyone will explain it to him repeatedly, and he's like, "Oh, you're just being SJWs." Like I think that's just as bad as each other.
Yeah, we've definitely
entire issue and unpack it and go, okay, no, now I get why.
But I definitely think there needs to be both sides.
Yes.
You can't have, like, for example, I think the Cosplay Australia All Inclusive is a very left group.
Oh, 100%.
It's the most left. It's very PC. It's very social justice warrior left group. As in, if you write the most, even a dumb, offensive joke, it's gone immediately. Yeah. And see, with the issue with groups like that is, it's sort of...
You're in an echo chamber.
It's kind of, in itself, enforcing somewhat of bullying. Where it's you sort of can't be yourself, where it's sort of forcing restrictions upon everyone.
It's a safe space.
It's the irony of that being it is that in itself the safe space, which is sort of tie-ins with the Black Mirror episode, which is the one that basically everyone's sort of voting on everyone else's reputation in person, which is sort of the scenario that groups like that would create.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely a compromise that's made. You can't just throw out anything that comes to your mind when you're in a comment thread or posting something fresh, like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, there's definitely a lot of soul searching and running it through certain filters in your head before you even engage in that group.
Which is why you need both.
I think it's okay to have that. Yes, like, I don't feel free enough to really...
No, I don't think I'll ever post anything really in that group.
If the three of us had the exact same opinions on everything, this would not be a fucking entertaining show at all whatsoever. No. We'd be nodding our heads. And even when...
It's quite...
Yeah. Yes. And even when... I don't know about you two, but I know I've probably said some things that you guys haven't agreed with. But I'm pretty sure, I'd like to think that at the end of the day, when we turn this off, we're still mates.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how it should be in these chats as well. Yeah. If I saw something that you guys don't agree with at all, like... kicking goats is okay, and then like we should be able to be like, oh, okay, well, not really sure that that's okay, and then we can have a discussion, and even if we walk away not agreeing with each other, okay, that's fine. We don't have to fucking ban each other off Twitter or like accuse this person for being assaultive to animals or something.
Which is one of the issues that I have with that group is I think it could very easily be turned into sort of a means of a witch hunt on sort of anyone.
Sure. I've seen elements of that. Good. Everyone because there's been a few witch hunt posts already, and I haven't seen big issue with that because they seem relatively justified. Like there was someone who had sent very fucked up things to a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And he'd complain about it, like, why are they in this group? They've groomed me at some point when they were sending me rude messages and asking for nudes when I was underage. Yeah. Now he's not, but you know who I'm talking about, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah. We've been to a party there and blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, I definitely know who you're talking about.
I forget the other dude that was called out, but yeah, he was picked from the group and they made a post saying, yeah, we've removed X person. And then there was a whole bunch of, yeah, fuck that guy and stories about that guy. And I'm like, wow, you want to really be sure that sort of thing. Like, I think in that case it was justified.
Yeah, and that exactly.
One day.
But if it's just like someone making, like, example, let's just say whoever made that Violet meme was an Australian cosplayer who just thought, yeah, it's fucking funny, it's dumb. And then,
and I can think of a whole bunch of guys that would happily share that.
Yeah. And then at that point, is that group going to just sort of attack that entire person? And it is an entire sort of, like, how far are some of those people going to take that?
Yeah, you can get completely frozen out. I don't know, but I don't want to sound condescending like some edgy teen that's like, fuck those guys, they're all sensitive snowflakes, and I want to post what I want, yo.
Which is why...
There has to be a middle ground.
Exactly. I believe there is plenty of room for both the left and the right, no matter how crazy one of them could be, because both can be incredibly crazy on each perspective.
Yeah, like I like to think I mean well most of the time, but I just feel like I'm too clumsy and accidentally like blinkered as to what the effect of some of the things I say would have. That makes sense.
I think the three of us can agree that
that's why I'm scared to post in there. I'm not like, fuck you guys, you're too sensitive. I'm more like, I'm not sensitive enough to know what I'm doing sometimes. So
I consider myself more left than right, but I definitely have some right views. I definitely think some certain things.
I haven't heard them yet, but
stuff about borders and things.
Okay. Yeah. But you're an immigrant yourself, so you hypocrite. Get out.
When I was first invited to this podcast, it was all about cosplays, and now it's getting heavier and heavier into politics.
This is what I do. This is what
this is what happens when you get the coronavirus. We can't talk about.
He invited me on as a one-time thing to promote the one that he and I were going to start, and then it just sort of came into me being on this again, and then again, and then again, and then I became a co-host.
I don't remember any of that, but cool. Like this next article is cosplay related. You've heard of the 501st Legion?
Yep, everyone knows the 501st Legion.
Right, so I'll try and sum this up, not read the whole fucking thing, because it's quite long. But basically, they elected a new leader who was a woman.
So it wasn't the Emperor?
No, but she's a huge, stickler for detail, like they all have to be, and that's fine. And she decided to look into some complaints that had been made about a UK chapter of the 501st, because there was a lot of allegation that they were embezzling the fundraising money and saying, oh, yeah, it's going to this charity, but it's not. So that's what she started an investigation on. But then there was some midnight coup meeting of a bunch of other, 501st people, and they kicked her out. So that's it. That's pretty much the only... I don't know what's happened since then, because that was a little while ago.
It sounds like there's more embezzling than just that.
Yeah, so I just don't think that was a very transparent or ethical way to deal with whatever was happening there.
But on the same point, who doesn't love a good coup?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
if you can execute it well, I respect it.
They're basically cosplaying the Empire and acting just like the Empire, it sounds like. So... Yeah, and I've just heard, I posted that, no, I didn't post it in the group, but it got reported because there was a bunch of people that were clearly in the 501st Australia saying, this shouldn't be here, that's too negative, we raise money for kids, let's not have this sort of negativity, don't post this. And I'm like, that pissed me off. I was like,
that seems
this is just straight up reporting. This is just saying what happened. So I was very much firm on, If someone else had somehow deleted that, I would have put it back in because...
It seems like one of those scenarios where it's yeah, that happened, but we don't like talking about it. Let's erase it from history.
Yeah. They're not too quick. They've got mates in it and they don't want the name to be sold.
It's sort of like, we don't want to talk about Hitler.
Yeah.
But it's like saying if Hitler was still there and this is all still happening, but the entire country of Germany is ignoring it.
Yeah. No, at least Germany knew what to do with
Not
it.
to say that the 501st is Hitler. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to give an example here.
You didn't just Godwin the argument. But I owe you $10 because remember last time we talked about Y2K.
Oh,
I put in the chat in the video. $10 says he doesn't do it.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks.
And
I've got it sitting there. I've got 2 articles on my computer ready to read. And I will get
Is it about the
Because the Y2K thing, and he said, I've got some homework to do for the next fortnight. And I put in the video and the caption above that said, $10 says he doesn't do it.
I meant to. I was really going to do it. Just, I've been
I
studying.
even gave him, I gave him incentive to do it when putting that there. He would have seen that.
Yeah, no, I did. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'll fucking show him. Completely.
You want to double it now? You want to raise the stakes? All or nothing by another 2 weeks.
It's just too late. It's done.
Oh,
I'm still going to learn it, but I've just got to pay the price of getting lazy and like being absent-minded. But
You would think if you had saw that, he immediately would have read like one article at least just to make sure that.
No, I think it's something you really need to dig deep into, and there's a lot there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just say what I said before, which I think was right.
You
that they had to fix a lot of really big computer systems so it didn't fucking crash, like stuff that ran hospitals and things like. I think I'm right in that, but I need to bring some real technical shit in to prove it.
Anyway,
really good content.
Some educational videos that Leonard Nimoy can.
This is the exact point you made last.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but wasn't that
it's
just
a video as well, so it's easier.
Wasn't that a fucking joke though? Like it sounded.
It wasn't a joke.
It was a parody.
It was apparently supposed to be an educational video on how to fucking handle it yourself. I'm just
all right, no, I think I'll stick to words on the screen. That just sounds silly, amusing, but I need to get to the real thing. So, boys, season is it 3? 2. Yeah, it's been a while, but they're coming out. Yeah, it's like September.
It's gonna be really, really, really fucking bloody.
That's how they roll. They get a lot of blood on everyone and everything. And
I'm going to rewatch that when I get home, actually.
I need to refresh it because it was so good. I'm going to watch it all again before the new one starts. Yeah. That's my plan. We'll see how that goes. But it was, that was one of the main things I was watching on Amazon. Last Nazi in the Castle. No, wait. Man in the High Castle.
You know what I'm watching on Amazon in a very similar sort of thing. Hunters.
Yep, I saw that a few weeks ago. Loved it.
Yeah.
It does drag in a few episodes.
There are definitely a few episodes that drags, but it starts off very good.
Yeah. Oh my god, that opening scene with the barbecue picnic thing. Oh, that blew my mind. I was like, all right, that's fresh. He just took out. I don't want to spoil it, but
it's the opening scene. So
still, the shock of it because you don't see it coming because it's such a picturesque, 50s wholesome. What do you call it? Norman Rockwell scene.
Pure American accent.
And it just goes south real quick as soon as someone gets exposed for being a Nazi. Yeah. And then it's just Nazis all the way through. And have you finished it?
No.
Right. Okay. Wait.
It's a long show. There's a shocking amount of
episodes. There's a lot of stuff going on. And Al Pacino's in there. Yeah. Some really good actors.
That's who I was trying to think of earlier when we were talking about Jack Nicholson. Al Pacino's still and stuff.
Yeah. But I don't think he's as old as Jack.
I think he's older.
Really? We're just hearing some... We'll see how good the filter deals with that. Cats eating in the background.
Yeah, I don't even think it's picking up.
So Mike Henry is the voice actor who's decided to quit as, and we'll read his statement because that's what we do. And I've got no idea how far in we are, so I'm just going to drag this out. And a lot of black people on Twitter were saying things like, I, obviously a black man, have enjoyed your performance throughout your 20 years. Voices are voices. There are no colours assigned to them. As a voice actor, your job is to bring your characters to life, and you have done that magnificently. So, obviously, not everyone agrees.
Give that man a fucking cookie. Give that man a fucking cookie.
Because Mike was like, I love this character, but persons of colour should play persons of colour, characters of colour. Therefore, I'm stepping down.
No, I'm sorry. You're giving voice actors a bad name. Sorry. No. That's that. No.
Shot in the heart.
You're too late.
So, I'm not sure where I'm definitely all for, meritocracy and the job should go to the best person. But,
how far are we going to take that, though?
I think that's it. I think if you just have, people of colour should play people of colour. Asian women should be played by Asian women.
Can I play someone in a wheelchair?
Fine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're doing someone who's handicapped, but your legs are fine. The fuck, man?
I don't
I
think
feel like we've raised this exact point before.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Reinhardt. Oh wait, no, what you're doing a German? The fuck, man? Why are you doing German,
I
eh?
think that's fine.
What the fuck, man?
No, I don't think anyone would ever have a problem with that. I think the slippery slope argument here doesn't work. I think it smacks a little bit like the same argument that homophobic right-wing Christians would use when talking about gay marriage. Like, oh, the next dogs will be marrying cats, and people will be going and marrying their own doll. And, it's like, no, that's not going to happen. It's fairly clear this is wrong.
Couldn't you also make the argument, though, that if you're claiming, like, oh, only black people can do black voices,
right?
Because they have a certain voice to them, and I'm like, well,
why can't we have like? He just stepped down as well from playing a half black character.
Like, let's just assume that.
Right.
Let's just go with something like Apu, who's got like the really thick, like, hello, I is Apu. Like, why can't you experiment then in the opposite direction? Be like, hello, my name is Apu. Yes, I'm Hindu. Yada yada. Like, don't make it. Why not? It doesn't matter whether it's a guy who's white or black, whatever. Like, experiment. Why do we have to restrict things? Why can't we experiment?
The only cartoon that hasn't jumped on the bandwagon, from what I can see, is South Park.
And I don't think they ever.
I heard they did.
Did they?
I don't know for sure. I heard they did.
Much.
Considering that like majority of the cast is voiced by the two guys.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still sort of on the fence on this one. I think it's a step in the right direction because that's what they're doing with with mainstream like live action stuff, and that's 100% fine. I've got no equivocation there.
I think
you can get that with voice acting it's a little harder because there's lots of grey areas with certain characters that are like fantasy based or not, real. Like BoJack Horseman, you've got, you said her name before, Alison Brie playing an Asian girl.
Yeah,
that's cool. But then you had Will Arnett playing a horse. Obviously, no issues there, but it does sort of seem a bit silly. Like when it's in a show where most of the characters are animals. Obviously, no one's going to have any problem with that. But
you could, plus people could take it and even stretch it and be like, the character might be like, oh, sassy horse. Just they got a sassy accent. Someone might take that and be like, oh, sassy accent? Are you trying to do a sassy black woman? And just assume...
Oh, that kind of sassy.
And pull that out
no idea where you were going.
Well,
they're going, Well, that's the same issue you had with Jar Jar Binks or whatever his name was.
What the fuck did they mean? Like,
well, everyone thought it was a racist stereotype of like a Jamaican black guy. Really? And it was a black guy actor doing him. But it was, he had that whole sort of Rastafarian... that whole speech syntax that was taken as like a really bad, like prejudiced mocking of that kind of person. So
I just think we read too much into it. But,
possibly that one. But he's still getting work.
Yeah,
I can't name any of it right now, but he's out there.
Okay.
Margot Robbie is going to be the face of the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie for Disney. So looking forward to that.
Quick question.
Yep.
Do you think you have more unopened DVDs than open DVDs?
At this point, probably. Yeah. I buy a lot. That's what I was trying to explain before. I went into a sale. I bought Saving Private Ryan and Rogue One on 4K.
You got VHS tapes.
I had to put them in the cabinet and found that I'd already had both on 4K as well. So I'm going to have to take them back and hopefully they'll let me swap them for something.
They should.
Are they VHS?
I didn't open them, so.
They're not. They're special editions.
Oh, yeah, they're DVDs.
Oh, okay.
With really cool, big, like...
It's got, like, thick Back to the Future.
VHS things, yeah. Because I didn't think my kid had seen. So
we're a video podcast now. I can show these on... I can show.
Yeah.
They look like VHS boxes.
Well, that's the idea.
That's cool.
There's a whole bunch of them.
I know a buddy who literally just converts stuff over to VHS just because he loves it.
Wow.
VHS.
That's hardcore. Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah.
And he makes it like look like a VHS tape a little bit. Still good, better quality, but like...
Did we mention this last time, the fan film version of The Princess Bride? With all these celebrity actors doing big films from?
Actually, I think we briefly covered it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Go look that up. That's all. I've got no issue with them doing like hacky at-home YouTube-style version. So go nuts. Poland becomes the world's first government to add video games in school as like a curriculum thing that you have to go play.
But what if there's a
watch the
school
trailer.
shooting game?
Well, they'll deal with that as they get to it. This one is about people that are left behind when a war's on. I can't remember the name of the game. Apparently, it's really cool.
It's called Left Behind. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, probably.
No, This War of Mine.
This War of Mine. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for it in this article, and I was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's from like years ago, like
Yeah,
2014.
it's not new. It's not new. It's very old. It's on your mobile phone even. It's on fucking everything.
No, I've been meaning to play that. So it just comes, like, it just gets interesting when it's a character that's not clearly of a certain color, like Jar Jar Binks, for example, but they have an effect, like you say, like assassin.
Yeah, like they could misconstrued it into something else.
We'll dig into that and get upset.
I just think if we just have a firm thing and be like, no, if this is an actor that suits the role that we're looking for, then that's it. We're not going to fucking read into anything.
Because generally, even with fantasy characters like orcs and all that, it's been said that they're... Well, what would they be? Analogous.
Stereotypical orc.
Big, stupid British person. Oh, Lord, just smashy.
So then, a British person might be like, oh, we don't like that.
I'd watch that.
It's like...
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I mean, as a POM, I'm fine with it. But another one, they could be a stuck
You're
up.
English?
Part POM, half POM.
Sacha Baron Cohen pulled an epic prank on a right-wing militia.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Cool. He got a whole bunch of rednecks to sit around singing how much they'd want to, cut them up like the Saudis?
It was doing something to the president, though, as well. There was something about fucking somebody in the ass.
Just getting them to join in a sing-along about doing fucked up things to anything like wholesome.
Okay. And then, because
the media get them all cut up.
Like, he got up on stage and then he had his own security detail block anyone from coming up there and
they couldn't even pick him off because he had really good security.
Oh, good.
And then the funniest part is they came back later when there was interviews and people talking to everyone like, oh my God, can't you believe you got pranked? This is crazy. And it was this Sacha. He was the cameraman. When this news crew was...
Fuck, he's got balls.
Yeah, he's got huge balls. So this is another issue like the Violet thing that's been going around. I've seen Peter share it. And they're trying to cancel Pornhub or whatever.
Mia Khalifa?
Yeah, because when she was 21, she wasn't 16. She wasn't even 18. She was 21. She signed a contract. She was paid. And her videos are online. Now, she doesn't want them to be online. So there's all this
everyone's
outrage.
Like, justice for Mia Khalifa. It's ruined her life.
She's a celebrity. She gets a lot of views. She gets a lot of eyes on whatever she's doing.
She made $12,000.
Yeah, but she's made a lot more than that in exposure money, exposure bucks. I'm sure she'd wish it was real money, but she's still a well-known name. And I don't know if she can ever go into a legitimate acting career, given her past. So
probably not.
Once you put something on the internet, it's basically not yours.
It's a tough on that. I just can't get as angry as other people are getting about that because...
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what they expect because one of the porn companies has sent her a cease and desist letter for one.
To stop complaining.
Yeah.
That's
Stop your bitching.
Stop bitching about us specifically.
Right. Okay.
Everyone needs to have those.
It's a sort of everyone's like all these people have signed this petition for to have a videos taken. Hey, that's not going to happen. Not a million fucking years. If I can watch the entire B movie on Pornhub, Mia Khalifa's videos aren't being taken down.
Bang Brothers, because it's
Bang Brothers, yeah.
And if they were forcibly taken down by a lynch mob or something,
they're just going to get
then that potentially wouldn't be your. Well, someone else could put them back up, and plus, it also, as people, it wouldn't be okay if they've signed contracts and the agreements have been met.
Exactly, she doesn't own the rights to it.
Yeah, I've not naming people. I know women who do cam stuff.
Yeah,
and they have contracts with certain sites.
Anybody own it?
Other sites, and then other sites, other people will take that footage and upload it to other sites.
Yeah,
and then that starts this big conflict because these other sites are like, well, they're posted to our sites now, so technically they are ours, even though they were someone else's. It's kind of like YouTube and copyright. The whole thing
says the same thing. We own it now. Once you've uploaded it, that's it. But
so that kind of shit, yeah, sure. But if it's Pornhub has signed a contract with this person. They're of age. Yada yada. It's unless there's some kind of a loophole in the contract, you can't really just be like, no.
I think it's just you fucked up.
Yeah.
You made it. You were a different person. Now, I think the same kind of thing happened to Debbie Does Dallas. I think it was a really sad story. She was of age, of course, as well.
But she was iconic before Mia Khalifa.
Yeah.
Even
it was Linda Lovelace, the chick from Deep Throat. There's a whole documentary about it. And I haven't.
You've lost me there. You've lost me.
This is way back when people would go out and watch porn in the cinema because that was the only place you could see.
Oh, you're doing the Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah.
No, but it was like almost mainstream. Like they wouldn't just jack off in the seats. I'm sure it happened, but people would go out as couples.
I'm sure you went just to watch rather than...
Yeah. No, they made it like a whole movie. There was a plot and everything.
Yeah.
But obviously...
So what's that? I don't know what is a porn.
No, it's just gonzo stuff.
Bring plot back to porn.
Well, that's like the only new content we're seeing anymore. It's like quarantine sex videos.
Nah, and what are you doing, step bro?
Hey, Dad. I'm just doing my new stretches, bro.
Step bro, help me, I'm stuck.
I've seen those.
Because the will move you up.
There was one the other day, and it was like so bizarre. It was this chick that was like climbing through some really like it was like under a bed trying to get something, or through like a dollhouse, and then like just in this bizarre like contorted position.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm stuck. Can you help me get out? And this guy comes in. He's like, I got this.
There's always one that's a windowsill.
Like I'll just get some oil because
it's going to lift you up,
And as she's climbing through, like her clothes just get torn off because.
My favorite one, which is it seems you don't have a lifeguard here at this beach.
Oh,
in the beach
tub. That's an old one, yeah.
Fucking love this.
That was the cover photo on Facebook.
Yeah, I think I've seen memes from that one.
Great.
But it's just like when you watch the video, you're like, come on, because you can see like a whole gap there where she could just easily slide out. Like there's no attempt to make it even remotely.
My favorite's the dryer.
Porn. I just can't help thinking like it's a movie, and I'm like, hey man, that's not cool. You can't.
Well, it's like
I can see what's wrong there.
They've put super glue on the desk and their hands there, and it's immediately stuck.
Yeah. It's just like anyway. Speaking of porn stars, there's one named Evelyn Clare. I don't know what her real name is. It doesn't matter. But basically, hey, it became a campaign on Twitter or whatever this is to get her to play Yennefer for The Witcher. Because if you see her character, Yennefer, right?
Yeah,
and then if you go to
very similar.
The actual
I'm going to have to put that image in the...
Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to. There's nothing other than just, you can see some thigh.
Yeah. Even if you just showed a picture of Yennefer, they just say they look like Yennefer. They look pretty fucking
and then she responded to it. She's like, I need to, guys, back me up here. So hopefully that goes.
It's like, I'll do all the nudity.
Yeah, because if anyone's willing to take that risk, it would be, is it Netflix making that series?
Yeah.
So go with it, Netflix.
To be fair, though, so long as she's got good...
Hopefully she can act.
Audition. Have her audition.
Yeah.
Because looks aren't everything. If you look the part, that's great, but you've got to be able to act as well.
Theories. There's not a lot of, like, I don't think any of the performances are going to win anyone an Oscar or whatever you get on TV, but still.
An Emmy.
So Apple's iPhone 12 is coming out soon, and apparently it's not coming with a headphone jack, which has already been a thing.
Money.
Just not give you the phone eventually. Just fucking...
There's not even going to be a charger, and Apple's reasoning is we need to keep this cheap as possible and the chargers are too expensive to ship with the phone.
Yeah.
And most people have already got one.
It's like Nintendo, what they did with the 3DS. You didn't get a charger with that either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because I just found one in a charity bin. I can say that now because I don't work there anymore. And I felt good because I had one a long time ago and I lost it. So I'm like, it's the universe has brought it back to me. And I don't know.
That's yours.
Yeah. That would be really fucking cool.
Good initials.
No, it had like Nintendogs in it. So I was like,
Oh, so you found a 3DS?
Yeah.
Ah!
I need to find a charger for it. That's all. So
I thought you found a 3DS charger.
No.
That's a much better pick then.
And threw it out because I'd lost the actual 3DS. So now I need to go back to Game Traders. No, wait, we can't do that because
they're in Rouse Hill.
Yeah, as like a pop up shop with a bunch of. That's kind of depressing.
But they're also their store in Rouse Hill is under construction.
Right, okay, they're actually going to build a shop there. Yeah. That's good.
Also, okay, so you can just go to EB Games in Blacktown. Wait a minute.
No, but there is that second-hand shop downstairs.
X or just going to be Hi-Fi.
Always remember the name. So I did look at JB and they didn't. They had the console, but they didn't have just accessories like that, as far as I could see. Like I went through the whole Nintendo.
That's
thing.
weird.
Maybe there's just none in stock, but yeah. Because I know they've stopped letting people bring in certain games to trade in.
Yeah.
I don't know about 3DS.
Yeah.
Because it's really gone the way of the Switch. Like that's pretty much the big.
I don't think. No, they don't trade in consoles anymore. I know that.
Yeah, it's really hard to find. Like, I know they're doing Last of Us 2 for $79, so that's good. But I'm going to take it from my sister in a few days because she bought it. I don't have to pay.
I'm
anything.
almost convinced that if you wait maybe another 6 to 12 months, that thing's going to be like $5.
I don't think it's going the way of Fallout 76. There's plenty of people who've enjoyed it. I've seen lots of people posting about how much. It hasn't been like 100% across the board. Shat on.
It doesn't mean it's a shit game. You can buy the first Last of Us for like what, $10.
Yeah, but it's been what, like 4 years or something.
Yeah. Coming up on an hour.
Ozark, good to know. 4th season will be the last season. 14 episode final season. So pretty excited about that. I don't know if you could stretch it out for much longer than 4 seasons. So I'm happy to hear that they're going out on a high because it's just the stakes are so fucking high.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, there's this guy and this girl, and I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. You will love it. If you like anything, I just know that you'll like it. It's a bit, like you're talking.
It's a bit on the nose.
No, you're talking about hunters having slow bits. You really have to stick with it for some moments. Like some episodes, a bit maybe too much talking.
Did you watch the Paul Rudd show where he's a clone of himself, or he's got a clone?
No, I want to though.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. Beavis and Butthead reboot officially announced. It's going to be a series. It's not just going to be them watching videos and reacting. They'll be running around like in the movie. He knows what's up.
Same voice actors.
It's about
I
that.
imagine so.
Cards Against Humanity. I won't be playing that anymore because they're fucked.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
I saw that post.
Yeah, did you read it though?
Partially. I think I was in the gym at the time. I didn't have decent internet because
Right.
I got shit reception there.
Yep.
My issue with that being is, okay, I'm all for going, not going to support this anymore, not going to do this anymore, not going to do that anymore. But if you already own it.
I know, yeah, it did occur to me, but
Yeah, if you already own it, it's like
What's the point? It's like buying a pair of Nike shoes and then burning them.
Yeah.
Nike still gets the money.
They should
you've
get
already
fucking
paid.
money, yeah.
I get it. It so pissed me off about how they reacted. They put the guy in fucking a mental asylum for suggesting that maybe the N-word wasn't a great idea to include in their game.
Was
so
this
they had
the
a
founders that they
this is their head writer. This was like their one black writer that they had, and he would go and speak on their behalf at like they had these comedy nights, and he would be like the Cards Against Humanity black guy that they would use as like a voice
and so they put him into a mental asylum because he suggested that.
Yeah, he was like he talked to one of the like there's 6 or 7 original owners that started it.
Yeah.
And once it got really popular, they brought in all these writers, and he was one of the original first writers as well. But he didn't have like stock in the company or anything, and yeah, he just went to these like committee of like it sounds really sinister, like the Sinister Six or something, and they were just like, "Nah, fuck this guy," and called his parents, and they and his parents somehow managed to get him like committed to this.
How much money did they give his
children?
parents?
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell my mommy on you and
yeah. I mean, he's sort of young. I don't know, like.
Oh, I mean the boss guy.
I don't understand the whole dynamic. They rang them and were like, they did the whole like, oh, we're worried for him and he's acting really strange and you need to come and help him. And now this is his, as a writer, how often do you get a job that pays like that? You know, it's $40 an hour.
Yeah. He's doing this really dangerous thing that people do in
$40 an hour. I could be a writer for Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah. Well, now he's got a better job, but it was just at that time, I think he was only doing it 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
But it was still like a good slice of his income. And his parents were really freaked about that. Like, oh, we don't want him to lose this amazing job. So, and took it in good faith that the management were looking out for him and doing the right thing. Yeah. So they were kind of swindled into it. And it's just disgusting. And like, I hope I've only read his take on it, but it just seems like way too much to just make up.
Turns out he is crazy and he blocked the
No,
that actually happened.
CD Projekt announces 18 plus game. CD Projekt waits till everyone is 18. That's a cute little meme, but it doesn't really make sense because then it would never.
I'm editing this out.
Oh, fair enough. I just started reading. I didn't really think of where that was going.
No, they have removed War Rain from the game.
Who?
Wall running. They removed it from Cyberpunk.
Why? Who's that? What's
Wall running.
Like Prince of Persia, remember the wall?
You swallowed it a bit. Wall running.
Wall running.
Wall running.
Why would they do that? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're just like, it wasn't necessary. There's still a lot of ways you can traverse around the map, but that's...
Alright, cool. Oh yeah, and the other big announcement, Fallout, coming to Amazon Prime very soon. Not that soon, but they're making it. And not just that, it's made by the same creators, the showrunners of Westworld. So,
but is it going to be like that episode of Black Mirror where I get to decide what happens?
No.
Oh, then I'm out.
Oh. I think it'll be like a strong narrative. I just can't wait. It's fucking cool. So all that shit I've got, I'm not throwing it out or selling it cheap. Like I've got a lot of merch, and it's only going to be like more. It might end up as kind of niche, like how many people watch Westworld, but I think it's going to be fucking cool. In June, The Last of Us 2 sold more copies than the rest of the entire top 10.
Now, see, I saw that.
Okay, so I would want to know what the other fucking top 10
There's a list of it. Now, see, I saw the list of top 10,
in there.
and I wasn't amazed by it. But the other thing that I wasn't amazed by is that was the only game released that month. So...
They might have did that intentionally, too.
It's like those people in America that like spent 25 grand on selling out a certain number of cinemas because their little indie movie was the only one out that month. They were the number one movie in America.
Yeah, box office movie.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Just because something sold really well doesn't mean it's good necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, Guy.
Just actually.
You're like the actually dude.
My God, there's going to be some zooms here.
3 more articles, super quick. I'm really upset about this one. Cass Anvar, the actor, one of the lead characters in The Expanse, has been accused of sexual harassment, misconduct, and all that sort of thing. So the showrunners contracted an independent company to come in and investigate, and hopefully he gets cleared. But there's been a bunch of people, like women on Twitter and stuff, going, nope, this guy's fucked. So I don't know, because I don't know, and I feel terrible for any women that were like sexually harassed by this guy. That's awful. But yeah, I got to admit, I'm a little selfishly more concerned right now about how they're going to, if he has to get fired, season 4 isn't out yet, and he's a big part of it. So my show, what's going to happen to my precious show?
Well, plus there's probably contracts as well. Like he's probably contractually obligated.
Yeah, but if you fucking start running around and it's proven that you did something like that, that would violate any contract. Like that would... They'd be able to...
Yeah, I wonder, yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, 100%.
Oh, no, I don't want to know. Well, actually...
to 100% have committed some kind of act like that, then yeah, they can avoid any contract.
You probably need more.
All right, the last thing, bloody Kanye West has announced he's president.
Who had it on their bingo?
Oh.
Who had it on their bingo sheets? My bingo sheet's here.
Nice.
I'm going to put a bingo sheet there.
What if...
Yeah, his run for...
President
2020.
For 2020.
It's a bit late.
It's a bit late, but he's running for it.
What if...
Who knows? Like,
to be fair,
what if,
can it get worse? I'd rather see Kanye up there than Trump, just because I think it'd be more entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I think every single speech would start with a concert.
I mean, if we can't have a sort of level-headed Democrat, I'm not a big fan of Biden, but like the team behind him might know what's going on, and they'll certainly do a lot better than anything Trump's doing, which isn't much other than playing golf right now.
You know how many votes Kanye's going to get just for the memes?
That's my only concern, is mainly that he might suck if he has any kind of platform or has enough. I don't know how that whole thing works. Like,
he might win.
Doesn't he need like people representing his party?
Yeah, but he could be a third independent, or he could go for either Republican or what's the other one?
Dems.
Yeah, Democrats.
But they've already chosen Biden, so.
Alright, well,
I don't think that ship is.
Third independent might still win it.
Yeah, I would love to see that just for the fucking nuts craziness of it. But then Jim Jeffries made that joke about Trump. Like, let's just see what happens. You know, like fuck it. It could be funny, and then it happened.
Yeah,
and it was a bad idea. But
like, think about how much money he's got for advertising for himself.
Oh yeah, no, it's purely like
he could run this whole entire thing himself.
And he was running around with the MAGA hats and all that sort of stuff, and looking.
Yeah, Trump might endorse him.
And he was accused of like being mentally unstable by hanging out with him. And,
like Trump might be his running mate, but I would much prefer Jay-Z.
He kicked back at all that, like those accusations of like being a right wing, you know, Candace Owens type, because he was like, no, I had to do that to get some of my brothers free. Like he was talking to Donald Trump's wife, who was running this whole like, let's get these people out of jail that were unjustly accused, and that was the whole point of him hanging out with Trump. And it worked. Like, all these guys got freed. So he was playing the long game. So, and now he's going to be in there. I don't know.
I won't be surprised if he wins. I won't. But
I would, but it'd be.
I'd kind of be happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it would be a fucking travesty for like the world and
but the last
live there, but then it would be kind of amusing.
the last person I wanted to see win just for the lols was Hillary. I'd prefer Hillary to win to Trump because I wanted to see a Monica Lewinsky too.
What with her being the
With her sleeping with some young dude.
a dude or a girl?
A
That
dude.
would be even okay. With two, like a dude
Either way.
and some swingers party,
And also
like,
imagine
in a pizza shop.
So also imagine first husband Bill, the shit he would get up to.
Yeah, that would. Either way, it would have been nuts. But
He would have been hella entertaining.
we ended up in a bad timeline. I got to say.
Yeah. Fucking Abed and Troy. Troy and Abed in the morning.
They still need to make that movie.
Yeah. We saw a really good pitch for it. I'll have to
But thankfully, no one has been cancelled, as far as I'm aware, from that show, other than like
Chevy Chase.
But you know,
That's
that
Chevy
was-
Chase.
yeah.
He had that coming along. He was like the original cancelled.
Yeah, that happened like halfway through the show, so that's.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can think
that's it. We're at 1 hour and 37 minutes, 52 seconds. It's going to be less than that because I do editing.
of. Me too, hopefully, at some point this week. But it's been a pleasure. I've had a good time. Someone's hungry. We've got to feed. Oh God, real bad.
I'm going
Is
to
your
Google.
litter box still in here?
No litter boxes, just a backyard.
Oh, okay. Kitty, move it out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm using the box.
Oh boy.
No.
Wait around, but.
I'm going to leave that in. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your dessert and get the fuck up.